One moved to dress as a vicious female partner. In addition to constantly bullying the male protagonist, it is also necessary to constantly match the male and female protagonists in love. But this male protagonist violates the plot. He has a soft spot for this vicious female partner. He is serious about the plot. Every time will accidentally trigger the favorability of the male lead. He was entangled by the little wolf dog and couldn't bear it. Just now, in the 21st century, girls wear books to complement each other. And the male protagonist at that time was still a teenager. He is a vicious woman. The first task was to shoot the male protagonist through the right shoulder to inspire his hatred and fighting spirit. As long as I wish him success on the throne, then you can be reborn. I thought I had succeeded in the male lead. Plant the seeds of hatred in your heart. But the system told him he shot the wrong person. Feng Mingfei cracked on the spot when he heard the words. I saw Zixu, the third prince of the male protagonist, standing there intact, and the innocent fourth prince lying with a gun. He was tragically stabbed. Feng Yufei, don't you always dislike news the most? Why help him today? Feng Yufei was instantly numb, and here's what's even worse. Hearing the sound, the police brother who came has walked behind, and the prime minister's father who accompanied the police brother. Feng Yufei knew that assassinating the prince was a serious crime. It's hard to convince people that you missed. After all, he played small and ejaculated superbly. It is impossible to make such a low-level mistake. Facing the questioning of the police emperor, Feng Yufei gritted his teeth. Just admit that you did it on purpose. The emperor ordered the princes to learn hunting here. But the fourth prince took the lead in bullying the third prince. The minister is not angry. Only then did his hand shake and hurt the fourth prince. The emperor listened. I feel that this fourth prince should suffer a little bit, and read it for the sake of concubine Feng Yu's impulsiveness. Punish him to go back to the vine and copy the Buddhist scriptures 10 times. Facing the death of my father, staring at concubine Feng Yu, cold sweat broke out. Fortunately, the crisis has been lifted. You can raise your eyes. But found that the male protagonist had already walked to his heel. Don't think you helped me before. I will thank you. Concubine Feng Yu was speechless. He doesn't want any gratitude. All he wants is to hate you. Don't be shameless. I'm not here to help you. Teenagers seek light and are prone to cold. So you were abandoning the army just now. Feng Yufei, who was Doug, clenched his small fists angrily. No, I just helped you, so what? Do you still want to repay me? Suddenly, the young man who approached Feng Yu flew back again and again. A touch of luck suddenly appeared on his green face. What do you want? Feng Yufei was stunned for a second. The greedy male protagonist who doesn't want to copy Buddhist scriptures will write it, except for the 10 times requested by the emperor. I need to make an extra 100 copies in case I need it. Zixu didn't expect him to be so vicious. Just throw a sentence, you dream and leave directly. Didn't get very far. Then he met the first prince who was angry for the 4 places. Not only called him a little bastard, even more punching and kicking him. And all of this happened to be bumped into by Feng Yunfei passing by. And he didn't choose to help. He pulled out a bottle, let the maid secretly put it in Zixu's residence, and told him not to be found. The maid looked at the bottle in her hand and panicked inexplicably. The eldest lady has always hated the third prince. Is there poison in here? In the changing bureau, the bullied male protagonist was rejected and severely beaten by his biological mother. He was considered unknown from birth, and his mother, a court maid, was not favored. I took out all my resentment on him. But even with such injustice, and he never complained. He doesn't want to owe favors. Take out a few pieces of paper. Prepare to copy Buddhist scriptures. Although it is not a good rice paper, but he exchanged it one by one through coolies. However, when he was about to fetch some paper, but found a bottle of potion, now he suddenly realized that someone had been here. Feng who failed the mission on the other side. Yunfei is receiving the data transmitted by the system. And his next task, just break into the changing bureau and make trouble. And destroy the most precious thing of the male protagonist. Let it hate. Feng Yufei is full of confidence. The next day, he broke into the changing bureau with a warrant. Crazy smashed him. Destroy the hero's den. But in addition to that, he also needs to destroy the hero's most precious books. Feng Yufei searched for a long time and finally found it in the box. However, the content of these books, but he almost missed his eyes. System, are you sure this is the book that the future male protagonist should read? Then a woman's voice suddenly came from behind. Who killed Qindao and destroyed my house? When I found out that it was the eldest lady of the prime minister's mansion. Instantly cowardly again. Feng Yunfei unceremoniously tore the book to shreds. How to destroy your favorite book? Do you have an opinion? The woman on the side was trembling with fright. No comment. Feng Yunfei, who was angry with the woman, clenched his fists. Who asked you? Miss Ben is asking about your son. Give up. Then sprinkle the shredded paper into the air in front of the male protagonist. Now the male protagonist's book has been destroyed. Then he can go to work. Unexpectedly, a group of people outside the house suddenly started gossiping. The third prince was beaten and scolded by his mother every day to work hard. Miss Feng smashed his things as soon as she came. He ripped up his books. It seems that he is venting his anger for the third prince. To Yufei, Wenyan instantly dropped his chin. So I made a mistake again. How can the people who eat melons talk more and more harmful? I heard that the fourth prince bullied the third prince yesterday. Shot through the shoulder by Miss Feng. Still lying in bed. Sham, who thought his son was close to the Feng family, quickly step forward to admit your mistake. And promise never to bully Zissou again in the future. Feng Yunfei, who happened to be a boat, was so ashamed and angry that he couldn't help it. Don't talk nonsense. I'm not here to take it out on him. But his rebuttal became arrogant in the eyes of everyone. They all put on expressions that I understand. Feng Yunfei, who could not explain clearly, was so angry that he smoked. What are you looking at? I said I'm not for you. That's what I said last time. Feng Yunfei was instantly numb, but he knew that Zissou didn't like being close to people. So he decided to do the opposite. His Royal Highness the Third Prince. In fact, I always thought you had a bright future. I especially want to make friends with you. I don't know if you want to. The flustered Zissou almost blurted out. Then he fled the scene without looking back. Feng Yunfei, who followed all the way, came to a grass. It turns out that the male protagonist hid the book here. No wonder he couldn't find it. Zissou took out one of the plates and handed it to Fen Jufei. When you see that dents, but not lose their neatness. Fen Jufei was instantly dumbfounded. He was too tired to copy the sutra 3 times in a row, but he was tortured by his biological mother every day, but still wrote so much. The equally arrogant Zissou turned his back. I don't know you anymore. But as a vicious female embryo, Feng Yunfei, don't care about being moved. I can only bite the bullet and continue to attack. He will stay up late and exceed the Buddhist scriptures. But his most precious book is under his feet. What's so good about this broken book? You are a useless thing. Even if you watch it 100 times, you are still a useless prince. And your life, only worthy of staying in a shitty place like a change of clothes. The male protagonist at this time was completely enraged. Just when Feng Yunfei was secretly glad to complete the task. The melon-eating masses behind are here to dismantle the stage again. This first Miss Feng is really arrogant. Before, let someone bring the third prince the best golden sore medicine. Don't spread it yet. A duplicitous and arrogant lady. Do you really care about the third prince? The two of them blushed when they heard the words. One vomits blood 3 feet. Feng Yunfei, who planned to fail again, was about to collapse. Woohoo, this vicious girl is so hard to be. Zissou looked at his departing back. It turned out that the bottle of medicine was given by him. He never received a trace of kindness. Suddenly made up my mind. And he was right. What about knowing etiquette and integrity? After all, he is a useless prince. And he has to get out of here. Leave the changing bureau. The other side. Feng Yunfei, who returned to the Prime Minister's mansion, was so angry that he couldn't. Vicious female characters in other people's novels. It's all been taken down by people. How come it's my turn? All evil is mistaken for kindness. The system's eyes glow red. Host, your mission has failed again. Feng Yunfei was in a state of mind. It's my fault to send medicine to the male protagonist. But it's not all my fault that the mission failed, is it? The first time was the system. You didn't only recognize the male protagonist. This time it is also the system. You failed to recognize the male protagonist thing. If the main system knows, presumably you will be punished too. System Meow and Essie could only warn him verbally. Don't make decisions without authorization next time. And his next task is to go to another courtyard to deceive grandmother, stimulate the heroine to return to the government to complain, facilitate the first encounter between the male and female protagonists. The next morning, Feng Yunfei took a carriage to the other courtyard, and he's going to start with the old lady's dog. As long as you provoke the old lady, take the opportunity to poke his pain point angrily. I will definitely let him, the sister of the heroine, go home and complain. After confirming the action with the system, Song Yufei rushed up with a dash, and will prepare chicken blood in advance. Put it on the dog. Sure enough, the next second his grandmother heard the sound and came, because the original owner has always been at odds with the old lady. So no matter what excessive things he does, it's all normal. I see this dog is upset. What's wrong with wanting to teach him a lesson? But the old lady who should have been scolded. But he didn't say a word. Seeing this, Feng Yufei continued to be ruthless. I not only hit, I'm going to kill him." The old lady was silent again. Then he spoke slowly. "The eldest lady of the Prime Minister's mansion. What does it look like to sit on the ground and twist into a dog?" Feng Yufei pretends to be fierce. Saying his legs would never come out would be humiliating. Just because the old lady encountered bandits when she was young. Accidental fall. Lame legs are often laughed at. It has since become a heart disease. At this time, the second lady, Feng Yanren, was a lady. Come out and speak for grandma. But he was scolded back by Feng Yunfei. See the grievance on his face? Feng Yunfei thinks he's to jerk. It's just a fuss. His old man should be angry too. Unexpectedly, the other party still has no temper. Just asked the hostess to take him back to his room. Before leaving, he asked Feng Yufei to throw the dog away by himself and let the kitchen be filled with dishes and let him stay for dinner. The fierce Feng Yufei was dizzy for a while. This old lady, even his most precious Hakimi. No more. Feng Yanren suddenly brought another female sister of Haki. This is Grandma's baby's little black. In your arms, that's just Dehei, the vicious dog next door. For often destroying the vegetable garden and bullying Zihei. The old lady hates him. Feng Yufei Wenyan was instantly petrified. So he wasn't angry. He thought I was helping him get rid of the dog. And those humiliating words. It is also seen as using aggressive words to cheer him up. Feng Yunfei is so angry. How can your stupid system even admit the fault of a dog? Both dogs are black. Who will remember the one in the original text? Is it big or small? Anyway, the task is to promote. Before the first meeting of the male and female protagonists. It doesn't matter if something goes wrong, as long as the result is correct. Song Yufei really admired his deception. So he turned around and found Feng Yanren. Through his coercion and inducement, forcibly let the heroine reply with him today. The poor little one can't stand this intimidation. I can only nod obediently and accept all his requests. Feng Yufei heard in his ear. Tell me to remember everything I just said. No mistakes. Otherwise don't blame me for being rude. Then she placed Feng Yanren in an alley. Can wait until dark. Feng Yanren didn't wait for the young man mentioned by her sister. Just when he thought he was being played, a sudden sound came from behind. At this moment, a teenager covered in blood fell there. The timid Feng Yanren was scared into a cold sweat. But if you don't save him, that vicious sister won't let herself go. He is dead both ways. I can only bite the bullet and walk over. He bends over, trembling. Are you okay? The next second, he was pinched by the vigilant male protagonist. He explained breathing difficulties. I'm just passing by here. No malice. But the male protagonist full of murderous intent is obviously unfortunate. To protect yourself, Bong Yanren can only tell the truth. It's my sister Feng Yunfei. He asked me to save you. I really didn't mean to hurt you. Instantly hear the news of the name. It's him again. At this moment, Feng Yunfei, who was hiding in the corner to observe, was instantly numb. The heroine of this novel is dead. Obviously, he has taught him according to the original lines. How could he not play according to the routine? System Miao is also very helpless. That's it. In order to avoid being killed by the fourth prince, the killer sent by the mother concubine caught up. The host should take the male host back to the hometown first. Feng Yufei getting off the bus. Simply come directly to the male protagonist. In order to maintain the evil woman's design, he lied that he had sent someone to hurt him. But she was afraid of risking her life before she let Feng Yanren come forward. Anyway, as long as the male and female protagonists meet and make him hate himself, it's barely done, right? On the way back, the clever Feng Yunfei deliberately made room for it. Let the heroine go in and be alone with the heroine. Then asked the coachman to go to town and asked the doctor to come to the door. And he was in charge of driving home. The male and female protagonists with their own protagonist aura live together. Sure to have feelings for each other. I can't believe his driving skills are so crazy. What's the Wolf in front of you? It's comfortable with only two bad people who faint and vomit. The news of the Prime Minister's mansion regaining consciousness. Express that you know. Those killers are Lion Fei Pai. Nothing to do with you. Actually, I just wanted to say thank you. But as a vicious female partner, Feng Yunfei, never let him appreciate himself. That's right, I didn't send these killers. But that doesn't mean I didn't know about it. You never thought about it. Why did I show up there early to wait for you? Zissou covered the wound that was involved. So you know, but deliberately watched the play there. That being the case, then why did you save me? Because you are like the monkey in that troupe. How could he let him die easily when playing a monkey? After all, the drama will be more exciting later. But Zissou didn't want to believe it. You always like to say hurtful things. But they're actually helping me. If you really want to see a play, why waste your time asking your sister to come and save me? Even drove me personally. although I don't know why. But you seem afraid that I know you're helping me. Did Feng Yufei's heart tighten when he heard the words? But what can he do? Even in his heart, he has to be this villain. You are wrong, although I want to watch the play. But I don't want anything to do with you. Feng Yufei retracted the wrist he grabbed in disgust. You're just the son of the maid of the changing bureau. Whenever your name is mentioned with me, that's all an interpretation of my wind and cloud flying. I'll tell you what. I was going to shoot you at the hunting range that day. It's a pity that the fourth prince was accidentally injured. To avoid severe punishment, I lied to help you, so please don't be too affectionate. Seeing the male protagonist say nothing with a hurt expression, Feng Yufei is very distressed. But this is the mission. He can't offer any sympathy. In a very bad mood, he sat alone in the yard. The current male protagonist is obviously also being cared for. At his age, fate has been so unfair to him. No wonder he turned black later. In the emptiness of his thoughts, his prime minister's father suddenly came over. Now the third prince is in charge. It's all because you hurt the fourth prince that day. Since you are so sad for the third prince, and took him home in person, for safety's sake, let the third prince stay in the mansion for a while. Feng Yufei was instantly numb. Even if he is not favored, he is still a prince. How can you live in a courtier's house? Don't worry, Dad has benefited from the emperor. That's why I discussed this with you. Then can I say no? Can't Feng Yunfei be speechless? What the hell are you talking about? Then the news of the injury came out. Feng Yunfei never thought of it. This seemingly weak and deceiving teenager in front of me. It's a complete scheming crown.